Earlier Family Center. As always, we're going to continue with our outdoor learning series. And for this week, we are going to be doing math and how to take math outdoors. So in the last couple years especially, I'm hearing a lot of people push for more and more math in schools and more emphasis on doing things with numbers and other math-related skills. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of a different take on that, which is taking our math and our numbers outside and approaching it from an entirely different perspective. The benefits to this are numerous, some of which will be detailed in the post that goes with the video, but some of them include you can relate math to real life skills, you can start to see it in a broader picture than just on the page of your desk. We can start to bring our physical education skills in there, so we can play games with it, we can make it more approachable and a lot less intimidating than when we give you a math worksheet to work on with your child at your desk. So today, we're going to show you some different math games that's going to get your child thinking about math and learning about their numbers, but also having fun. So we're going to get started. So one activity that we're going to do is just to work on our recognizing our numbers. So again, this is going to span anywhere from ages 0 to 6. The younger they are, the better it is if they start getting used to seeing numbers and recognizing numbers, especially in an environment where there's no pressure. So for this game, we're going to assume your child has a little bit of familiarity with their numbers, but we're going to practice recognizing them. So I have our numbers 1 to 10 written out in some Sidewalk Chop, and all we're going to do is, as a parent or a guardian, you would yell out a number, say 5, and you're going to have your child try and recognize that number and jump onto that number. You can do this again and again, so you can say 10, and they have to do a nice big jump onto the number 10. And you can do this many times, especially if they are a younger child and not a fully grown adult. This is a little bit of a bigger jump, so it is a good physical activity. We've talked about how great jumping is for your heart health in the past in our videos. So this is just a fun way for them to be jumping, moving, and just thinking of this more as a game than as any sort of pressure to learn math. So that is our first game, and now we're going to move on to another. For our second game, we have Hopscotch. I know we've looked at this one before in our Olympics video, but we're going to use it here in a math sense. So I've used 2 colors and 2 patterns. So white squares, you only have the 1 foot. Pink squares, you have 2 feet. So you're going to be doing 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So again, you can just ask your child, what do you notice about this pattern? Is that pattern of asking them to think, reflect, and then tell you what they're thinking about. So you can see there's a different pattern. You're alternating colors, you're alternating sizes, you're alternating a bunch of different things. So it gets them thinking about that patterning in algebra, which is going to be a strand of math we'll hear so much about in a couple years down the road. So for this activity, we have some different colored and differently shaped squares of old fabric and just put onto some cardboard with some numbers taped on. So because there's so much going on here, not only is it great, it helps your child really take in all these things going on at once, but it also allows them to use this for a variety of activities. So you can ask your child, what are the circles? You'll have to go and pick up the circles. So immediately you're helping them learn and recognize their shapes. But then you can mix it up. You can say, which of these are yellow? You'll have to go, and they're going to pick up 2 different shapes. You can say, which of these have the number 6 on them? And again, they're going to have to go in and pick out which of these have 6. So you're going to just have them picking and sorting through different shapes, and again, it's just a fun little game that has them thinking and recognizing these different patterns without any pressure. So for this activity, we have some dice, and again, they don't have to be these jumbo size ones. It can be something as simple as one of the dice that comes out of your average everyday board games. But what you're going to do the dice is you're going to give it to your child, because every child likes to have the fun of throwing things. So they're going to throw, you're going to watch, how does it land? Lands on a 6, which is a great roll for me. We're going to do 6 jumping jacks. 4, 5, 6. Always encourage your child to count out loud as they go. It really helps them get familiar and comfortable with their numbers. So you're going to do this again and again. They can just keep rolling it. You're going to recognize the numbers, say it out loud, and then count that many activities. It doesn't have to be jumping jacks. It could be something else your child likes. It could be a number of times you skip on a rope, hop on one leg, anything, as long as it is keeping them moving and keeping this feeling, again, like a game. Lots of families are older siblings, and they might be wanting to get involved as well. So you can always add a second dice. So you can throw your 2 dice up. You're going to have your older child, depending on their age, they can add them if they want to make it a little bit more difficult and adjust. And for your younger child, you can have them keep going. 1, 2, just like we've already talked about. Alright, so another tool that we have, these great little math tools, which shows different colored black dots on there and a number on the side. So it kind of is like, this is how many it is, and here's the answer. So your child can always check their own work. So this is, again, just a fun way to have them try making patterns and try and count and learn their numbers. If you want to really step things up, make it a little harder, again, it's impossible to tell what age group your child's in, so there's such a variety and such a variety of just proficiency in math. You can say, alright, you've been able to count all these, now I want you to order them from the most to the smallest. So they could start by putting their 10. Then I have one that has 6. So I know that 6 is less than 10, so I'll put it over here. I have one that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, they're not always going to be perfectly clear. For a lot of children, it'll take a while just to count, and that's perfectly okay. I know that 8 is smaller than 10, but bigger than my 6, so it will go in the middle. And again, these are just skills that you can do with your child as you go. I have my 9, I have my 7, so I can just count my way down. And it's just a very fun way for them to not only learn about ordering and patterns, it's also a really fun way to be outside and playing using our natural materials without any plastic, which is a nice change. Another really great activity that we're going to talk about in this one is more just food for thought, because it's nothing especially new or creative. But you can always take your Sidewalk Chop, which is one of my favorite tools, and you and your child can just practice doing your numbers outside, on sides of buildings, on the side of your house, your garage, whatever it is. It's just a fun way to do it standing up instead of always sitting down. We do them so much more. As you're thinking differently, there's a lot of research that shows actual cognitive benefits of writing things out vertically on vertical surfaces. In new classrooms, you might even see them writing on the windows. It's just a completely different way of thinking about doing math and practicing your numbers. That's a lot more fun, because how often are children allowed to write on the walls? Alright, so the very last one we have today is just a really great game to play, especially if you have a group of children with you. And it's called Mother May I, or you might have heard some different variations such as what time is it Mr. Wolf, what time is it Mr. Shark. There's a million. It's all essentially the same game though. So for this one, you have one person who is the mother or the shark or the wolf, whatever it is. We'll say in this case, I am Mr. Wolf. So I would turn around from my friends, who would all be behind me, and they would ask me, what time is it, Mr. Wolf? And I would think, and I would say maybe 6 o'clock, but I'm not looking at my friends. So my friends behind me would take 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They wouldn't have to worry about running over their camera person, which is something I have to worry about. So they would take 6 steps, and then the person behind them, the wolf, would say, they'd ask, what time is it, Mr. Wolf? And I would think, and I'd go, 2 o'clock. And he would take another 1, 2 steps. And when the wolf thinks that they are getting close, I would yell when they ask, I think it is dinner time. And I would turn and I would chase them, and I would try and gently tag one of my friends. And whatever person that I managed to tag would then become the new Mr. Wolf. Or Mrs. Wolf, because they can gather. So for for that game. Again, it's getting them running, it's getting them moving, it's getting them familiar with even the concepts of thinking about time and just measuring things out with something as simple as steps. It doesn't have to be a formal ruler stick or a meter stick. It's just getting them familiar with all of these concepts and making them so much less intimidating than when you sit down in a classroom and your teacher says, open your books, we're doing some math today. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little video with some different ideas on how to get your child outside and thinking about math in different ways and more as a game than as a formal subject. There are so many more of these you can do. Again, there will be further links posted below with the video. And there's a million different ways depending on your child's proficiency and age that you can incorporate math into your daily lives. Fresh air is great because it gives you a break from that classroom environment and it gets you feeling as though math is connected to our real world, which it very much is, in something as simple as let's count the bees on our sunflowers in our pollinator garden, let's play some hopscotch, let's play what time is it, Mr. Wolf, and all of these are really fun games that you can play with your children. So I hope you give it a try, especially as we are going back into school and it is starting to be that time where we all think about math. So thank you again for watching and thank you for connecting.